This is my first ever podcast.
Yay, exciting. And you're hosting it. How cool.
I know, right? It's just like random, just come right up to you.
Yeah.
With questions.
I love it.
Okay, cool. So I had a bunch of questions and I let you know all of them, but I kind of put them into a little list focusing on one thing for today. It's going to be mostly for coaches, considering me as like a new coach.
Okay.
Coming up, I have a bunch of questions and
Awesome.
you're the perfect person for that. So
Cool.
First one is going to be, when I started coaching, I started with the kids. So what is your best advice for kids coaches? If like most coaches start there, you know?
Yeah, great question. And I love that this is where I wish most people would start their coaching path is with kids. Within the cues that you learn, like superhero or angry gorilla, or that transfer over so well to when we start coaching adults. But the ability for somebody to group manage a bunch of 5 to 13-year-olds, the ability for somebody to take the cues that they use to that 5-year-old and transfer that to the adults, we see such amazing benefit when we have our coaches do it in that order. When we get started with the kids, the knowledge, the group management, the presence and attitude, the ability to keep and gain people's attention for very short periods of time, it has such amazing transference to the adult classes. But with the things to focus on would be the 9 foundational movements that we teach at the level 1. The air squat, front squat, overhead squat, deadlift, sumo deadlift, high pull, med ball clean, press, it, push, jerk. We want our kids to never forget how to do those things. That's the most important part, is that our children know how to deadlift, they know how to press, they know how to jump, to do these movements that we were naturally born with. Like we say at the level 1, the same way a squirrel buries nuts or a bird flaps its wings, like nobody teaches those things how to do it. It's just in them. It's just innate. Nobody taught anybody how to deadlift, to press, or to do a clean. We do those things because life demands it of us. And when we come out of the womb, we are ready to do those things. Like I saw probably a 3-year-old at a store. This was a couple of years ago, but I remember having like this epiphany moment. And he was helping his mom get all the stuff out of the cart and put it inside onto the conveyor belt. And he was in the cart. And it came down to this one huge watermelon. And he like walked up. He's in the cart. He walks up to the watermelon. And he, like yesterday, you're teaching the sandbag clean. He gets underneath it. He rocks it side to side. He gets his chest up. He digs into his heels. And he deadlifted this watermelon. The most beautiful deadlift I've ever
nice
seen.
Flat back.
Yeah, and handed it to his mom. His mom picked it up and put it there. Yeah, and it was like exactly a nice flat back, flat feet, knees tracking the toes.
And you think he was ever taught any of that before?
And nobody never taught that. And so our job with the CrossFit kids when we get them young is like, don't let them lose it. And then maintain it, right? And if we can maintain it throughout our lives, it's a lot easier. That's why I'm so stoked with Joey and June. Like they're just deadlifting and squatting and pressing. And I'm not coaching them at all because they do it so well usually to begin with. And most of the time when the kids aren't doing it well, it's because they're trying to do it like us.
We like confuse them.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to deadlift. They're like, what's a deadlift? Like, we're just picking things up and putting them back down.
And instead we're like, hey, look like an angry gorilla. It looks like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I could do that. Or like,
and you constantly reminding them of those cues, right? In a class. It's like, that's not a one-time thing. It's like, that goes for every movement. So,
but when it comes down to how do I take something as complicated as a squat snatch, right? It has all these things, and tell a 5-year-old to, hey, put your hands here and here, put your feet here. Okay, now jump and punch.
Yeah.
When they're the kids, it's like, do they have flat feet on the ground? Do they have a flat back? And don't let them move past that until they do.
And it's like you can kind of ignore the other little things that go on till you can kind of just focus on those two things.
The
like,
big
it's okay if the
pieces.
knees are caving in a little bit during it, just focus on that one thing first. Don't be like, do this, do that, and do that. That's
so
when it
know
gets
those points of
overwhelming.
performance and know those faults by heart, and know those 9 foundational movements. I think that is like the best place for CrossFit Kids coaches to start.
Cool. So we'll move into another coaching question, which is going to be after coaching a class, what do I do? You got through your class good, workout went great, fist pump everybody, write down their workout. Some people are like, gotta go, and then some people might hang out. What do you do with those people who hang out?
So we purposely put 30 minutes between our classes, and the first 15 minutes are for the athletes. So meaning you will find somebody in your class that's doing something, you're trying to cue them, and maybe it's not getting across, or maybe the cue would need a little bit more explanation, a little bit more time to spend with that athlete. This is your time. This is the opportunity to grab that athlete, pull them out to the side and say, hey, hey, I think if we do a couple more things, we can make this better. It's also your time to recharge yourself. And so it's important to have not only that time where you're connecting with somebody within the class you just did, it's time for you to recharge your batteries as well, but it's also time for you to reflect. And if you can reflect on your class in terms of how was your overall timeline, how were the cues that you were giving. So I would say that the best things you could do immediately afterwards is grab somebody from the class that you know you can make better and spend a couple minutes with them right afterwards. Then number 2 would be to take a second for yourself. Let yourself come down, get some food, get some water, read a book, relax, scroll social media for a little bit, whatever you got to do to relax a little bit. And then once you've had that kind of downtime, you've let your brain come down, try to write down some things you think you could actually do a little bit better in the next class. Maybe you're going to refine your warm-up. Maybe you're going to mess with your timeline a little bit. But I think that if you do those 3 things after your class, like you're going to be crushing it.
And I think that something as little as like working the kip swing with somebody is like just give them one simple movement. That could be so huge for the next class.
So huge. Or if anybody wants to stay, I'm going to do a quick little talk on nutrition. It's going to take 5 minutes, especially if you're a coach that has some sort of subject matter expert that you're trying to grow within the gym. So if you're a nutrition coach or like you were trying to do strong man, strong woman classes coming up here pretty soon, you start talking about that stuff after the classes. Start messing around with people doing strong man and strong woman stuff. You're like, hey, I got a class coming up next week. You guys want to test some stuff out for me? I can show you guys how to do it.
That's where you get it done for sure.
Yeah, and it gives people, so it's great for the coaches, right? Because then you're building up your own personal business, hopefully within the gym, but it's really great for the members because then they're getting touches on other stuff, and they're not only getting touches on other stuff, they're getting touches on other stuff from somebody that's so into that other thing that they're really doing the research and the work to make it.
And that's a really good memory to make together and how to bond really with them.
Oh,
for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, 100%. And I really agree with the taking time to just like come in, especially make like this room is like my room to go to after like a class. I'll come in here and be like, okay, even maybe close the door if I have to, just to like, so nobody like says hi, like, and I'm going to go out there with excitement to see them. But like for right now, I just need that second. So that was a great advice.
Awesome. Hey guys, what's up? We are back with the Coast Range podcast, and I am here with Jess Harper. We have something very exciting. Jess has started her own side business that she's working on now, and it is called
Drippy Nurse Jess.
Awesome. And what is it exactly, Jess?
Drippy Nurse Jess is a company that provides IV therapy services and wellness shots.
What is the purpose of this IV wellness and shots of vitamins? Why would somebody get something like this?
Well, there's many reasons why people would get or need IV therapy. First, let me just explain what IV therapy is. IV stands for intravenous. So basically, it's the fast replacement of fluids, vitamins, and electrolytes that bypass the digestive system. IV therapy has a greater absorption rate than oral medication. It gets absorbed way faster than if you were to take oral vitamins.
Let's talk about who this is not for.
There's a few people that it's definitely not for. Anybody under the age of 14, usually around 80 and up. Anyone with kidney issues, heart issues like congestive heart failure. Too much fluid for those people will just be too much for their body to handle.
Gotcha.
So we don't give IV fluids to them unless they're in the hospital setting.
We have an event coming up this Saturday that you're going to be at, right?
Yes.
And you're going to be giving away or giving out information on what it is that you do. Are you going to have anything available for people to actually participate in then?
I actually will set up a wellness shot bar. I'll have B12 shots. I'll have vitamin D, lipostat shots, and then I'll have pamphlets and brochures for people to be able to take home and read up a little bit more on it.
It's important to us at Coast Range that we are curators of like health and fitness information so that people know they can come to our gym and what we're giving them is the best of what we know at the time being, right? So we know that hydration is a really big issue with people. We know that getting in the vitamins and the minerals that you need is a big issue with people in their diets lately. And then we know that stress is a huge issue that leads to vitamin and mineral and sleep and stress increases in your life or decreases in your life when it comes to vitamins and minerals. And when it comes to stress, that leads to decreases in those things, right? So you end up eating worse, you end up working out less, and then that can lead to chronic disease over time. So diabetes, things that are avoidable. And one of the things that I really love about this is that it could be the catalyst to get somebody to feel really good in the moment, to just start to make the positive change that they need. They come in and they get a vitamin drip with you, and all of a sudden they have this boost of energy and they start to feel better. Hopefully that snowball effect into working out and into eating better and those things. So this month is Men's Health Month for us, and so we're really focused on men's mental health. Is there anything that you've seen with these vitamin drips in terms of mental health or anything that would be beneficial for people? When mental fatigue sets in, right?
Okay.
And mental fatigue could be from anxiety, it could be from depression, it could be from the things that cause that from work or whatever. Getting vitamin D can help with mental health, right? Like, so making sure you're getting out in the sun, or even if you can't get out in the sun, take a shot of vitamin D, right? Like, is that something that you guys provide?
Yes, I definitely do provide vitamin D shots. Those are quick and simple, 5 minutes in and out. Our NAD infusion is perfect for those symptoms.
So in closing, you're going to be here this Saturday. You're going to be handing out information, but really what this is for people who are either competing, just worked with somebody recently from the gym.
I just worked with a breast cancer survivor. I gave her some things that I knew would help her. She had a lot of joint issues. She's a little bit older, had a lot of joint issues. Gave her some extra glutathione. Glutathione's an antioxidant that helps cleanse the liver. It gets rid of free radicals, helps with joint pain. And I checked in on her a couple days later, and she said she hadn't felt pain-free in her joints in so long. She was so amazed. Glutathione is amazing. It's an amazing antioxidant.
So basically, if you're hurting, if you finish competition, you're hurting, this may be for you. Or if you're at home with some sort of a chronic disease, other than what we talked about before, like COPD and those things, right? Like, this could be an option for you, but
absolutely,
but not necessarily for like the everyday person that's eating a healthy diet, that's exercising daily. Like, this may not be necessary for them.
If you're eating a healthy diet, getting 8+ hours of sleep, working out, you shouldn't need an IV. So you should have that already. Or let's say you are doing all of that, but you come down with a nasty cold and you have nausea. Guess what? I have anti-nausea medication that I can give you. If you can't hold any fluids down, I can come to you, give you a bag of fluid with anti-nausea medication, and get you feeling better, at least for that day. I also carry medications like Toradol, which is an anti-inflammatory and acute pain reliever. It's not a narcotic. And that works great for any kind of acute pain that you may have, for, if you get an injury or you have inflammation in your knee. So it's not just vitamins and minerals that I have. I also have the ability to give you some medications.
That's great. And you just said that you make house calls.
I do.
Oh my gosh,
I'm mobile. Yeah. I'm totally mobile. So I come to you, whether it's office, gym, home, at the beach, wherever you want to go, I'll be there.
Okay, awesome. So we'll see you on Saturday at the event.
Yes.
You'll be handing out pamphlets and information and stuff. And then also, if somebody wants to do a shot or wants to do an IV, they will have the ability to try it too, right?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Awesome. Heck yeah, we're excited to see you on Saturday.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Cool. Thanks for coming, Jess.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Here we go. Episode 1. This is Benny. I'm Wes. And I'm going to read from my notes a lot because I'm really nervous. But this is a video and audio cast, and it's an attempt to be as vulnerable, as gracious, as transparent, as silly, as woo-woo, and as educational as possible in the fields that I know the most about, and that's in physical health and, as of recently, more mental health. So why should you listen to me? Well, you don't have to. And this podcast is not about you actually taking any advice from me. What I hope to do is actually just share some experiences. I'm going to break this thing down into some seasons. And in season 1, I'm going to take you through my early childhood. There were some things in there that hopefully I can share experiences, become very vulnerable about those experiences that I'm sharing. It would be the first time that I'm exposing myself and sharing this stuff to an audience that I don't know, in hopes that somebody can gain some experience or can take from my experience if they would like to and use it for their own benefit. And that's kind of the whole hope of this podcast, is throughout each season, I hope to interview people who have been through similar things within childhood traumas, young adulthood, my time in the military and as a firefighter, and then just recently, shitstorm of the 2020 pandemic and being a small business owner and CrossFit affiliate owner during that time, which, give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! If you were a small business owner and specifically a gym owner during that time. So come along with me if you would like to hear some other people's experiences that have been through some stuff and maybe take a thing or two or don't. I hope to break down my episodes in a way that allows you to not waste your time. I hope you like this. I hope you find it refreshing. I'm not here to give you advice. I'm here to just share some experiences and to let you know that you're not alone. Come along with me. Not you. We already went on a run today. Them. I want them to come along with me. And then share it and like it and subscribe and all that stuff so that we can get more people to like it. Right, Penny?